a little while ago, before we had decided to do this, we had made up a champion for League of Legends. I guess we could tell you about that, but well,
We've already talked to that.
I know we've already talked to the dev. We could go give you the overview of it.
But he's pretty OP.
Yeah, he's OP as shit. We don't have a
No
name for him.
counterplay.
Yeah, there's like no counterplay available for him other than to just avoid him.
USS.
Yeah. Yeah. Other than Quicksilver. Well, we could tell you about him. We had originally called him Jericho before we knew that that was Swain's first name.
Whatever.
Whatever. I guess basically the idea behind him was what led us to come up with this
Happy
idea.
Halloween.
This episode is gonna come out weeks after Halloween if we ever make
Happy
it.
Halloween, motherfuckers.
I guess you are. I guess he came about because we were talking about taunts and fears.
Yeah.
So that's what we were doing. We were talking about how
There are like no taunts. There's
like when we realized that
Galio and kind of Ari.
kind of Ari, but that's still a charm. Whatever, I know, but you're not going to attack Ari when you get charmed by her.
Yeah.
And so basically we had thought of the original idea for him was that
The enemy team gets taunted
to an enemy. That would be
champions.
yeah.
So
And-
it's like
And it
think
becomes
Galio, but on
on
one of them.
on the 80 carry. Which was totally OP. But then we came up with this new idea that was kind of all centralized around a propaganda minister, some Joseph Goebbels kind of motherfucker.
Nazi shit.
Nazi shit. That was what I kind of originally thought of when it was
Nazi style,
Nazi style.
Like, all right. First up,
What?
do we have to really say we're not like?
We're not. I suppose we have. Yeah, we should say we're not Nazis, but like.
Bruh, I'm Jewish and Spanish. There's no fucking.
There's no fucking way. But just the idea of propaganda, where the reason why it became all Nazi and shit is because the Nazis were kind of famous for their propaganda.
Also, the way
They kind of
their dress, like it was sharp.
it was sharp, and that was like where we kind of came from. Kind of like that guy from Raiders of the Lost Ark. That I forget his name. The guy who got his face melted. You remember his name? You saw Raiders of the Lost Ark, right?
A while back.
Wow, a long time ago. I forget his name. It was he's like the scary Nazi guy.
I'm not really into.
Yeah, I'm not a huge Indiana Jones fan either. Don't even encourage that. Don't even acknowledge that shit.
Say nothing.
Yeah, I'm not saying nothing either. And that's the problem. We're not saying anything. We thought this would be a whole lot easier when we first decided we wanted to do this. Fine. Getting back to the fucking champion that we came up with. I digress.
Quite a bit.
You fuck. Yeah. Woo, gaming.
Besides that,
Should we just run through his abilities?
sure, go for it. You know him better than I do.
I guess so.
His Q.
So we start with his passive. His passive, we decided to call Unity. I don't know. It was originally called Brain Food, but we thought that I was thinking back that's a little. That's a little silly considering what his other abilities are called.
Yeah, it doesn't fit in with this theme.
With his theme of propaganda and
Mental.
his psychic ability sort of thing to influence the minds of people.
Telepathic.
Yeah, telepathic. He uses his mental powers to influence his enemies and friendlies. His passive is Unity, and for all living things, that he draws power from the minds around him. That's minions and champions. gives him more ability power. I think what did we decide? It was like upwards of like if all nine of the champions are around him, there's like what like a 15% boost in ability power.
I don't know. That's just a number that could be tweaked.
It's a number that could be tweaked.
But a boost from those from
the mines around it. His Q, we called Inspire, which was
it's a complicated ability.
Yeah, all of his abilities are really complicated, with the exception of maybe his W.
Yeah, and that's why he'll have to be.
He would totally be tweaked and probably nerfed and probably never even come into existence.
But
his
not going to stop us.
Yeah, it's not going to stop us from dreaming because I honestly think this is a cool champion idea, and even if they don't make this guy, they should use some of his abilities in other champions if they ever get a chance to.
Yeah. So Inspire, think. All right. So start off with the concept, kind of like Ezreal,
Kind of like his Essence Flux.
No.
Yes, Essence Flux will give you the attack speed boost, isn't it?
No, but the cooldown thing.
Oh yeah, the cooldown thing.
It's
yeah.
more like the arcane. What is it? The shot.
The true
Mystic shot.
Mystic shot. Yeah. The Mystic shot, where it reduces his cooldown of his ultimate or something.
No, the reduce his cooldowns by
like what, 10% or something.
A percent.
A percent of the current cooldown.
Their current cooldown.
Yeah.
So like, at first you're taking off these big chunks.
Yeah, but then as it's getting smaller, it's less. Basically, Inspire decreases the cooldowns of allied champions.
Yeah. So
and your own.
Think, if this works on you, or we should also say how it.
Oh yeah, because we decided it could be cast in a strange way. If you cast it on yourself, if you cast the ability on yourself, it's done in area of effect around you.
Yeah.
And as you move your cursor away, the area of effect around you gets smaller
in proportion with
how far away you shoot it.
And it goes out,
We thought it would go out around a minion wave's length. Like a single minion wave.
Yeah. So at a single minion wave's length, it's
it's just a beam. It's a
skinny beam.
It's like a skill shot at that point.
Yeah, and but I think like Lucian, the beam that he fires, how it hits all that.
Yeah, how it hits all that in that range at once.
But as you bring it closer to you,
it becomes wider around you. The reason we thought about that is because he's taxing his mental prowess, trying to make it go outward.
Yeah.
He has a set amount of square footage that he can cover.
Yeah.
And so that was the thinking behind that.
I think it's a cool way to I think it's a cool aiming idea.
Yeah.
And also the ability. It's cool. Like if you were we gonna go with the enemy
Yeah, well, that was the thing.
Yeah.
Well, the more active ability, because when we originally thought of him, he was going to either be kind of like a supporty, kind of like Lux.
Support mid or
support
Karma.
Mid, kind of. I mean, not so much. Actually, more like, I don't know. Trying to think of a mid who's more of a support, but you can totally run mid.
His Q would have a
semi-short cooldown.
Doesn't do very much damage at all.
Not very much damage at all. Well, the point of it to do is actually
when you hit enemy minions.
When you hit enemy minions, they briefly turn to your side, they get treated as your minions.
Yeah, but I mean,
but if they die, you get the gold.
They don't get treated. They should just start.
They start attacking enemies.
Yeah, I don't think you. Because if they get treated as friendly minions, then all of a sudden you use it on them, and then an enemy can attack that minion and
get gold for it.
No, we don't want that.
We don't want that. But if they kill it, they can still attack it, and if they kill it, you get gold for it. Because it's your ability that caused it.
But the minions only turn for
It's only for three.
No, it's a fraction of a second.
It's like a fraction of a second.
At most, it's like most of.
At level 5, it's probably just like 1 second.
Yeah.
It's like enough that if you're sieging a turret, they'll start attacking it for a little bit.
Yeah, it'll just turn them around, and maybe the ranged minions get off an attack.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't. It's basically just a complete interruption of the minions.
and it's important for like the siege.
Yeah, it's good for sieging. It's good for like it will make your way push just because. That's,
And if say you're being pushed in by a bunch of super minions in your base, you can turn it around and the super minions turn around at the full level and attack each other. Yeah, just if it's only for a brief second.
Yeah, that's one attack, on each other.
Yeah, that's more than than you can hope for.
Yeah. So you're using this ability mainly to use your other abilities more often.
Yeah.
For the cooldown effects and mainly to help your friend. That's why it's more support ability.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's a cool little concept. Getting the minions to like fidget for a second.
Yeah.
When you're supporting a lane, you obviously don't want to do this because it'll push the lane out a lot.
Yeah. But you cast it on your AD carry, and well, what do you know? Looks like built over Peacemaker up and ready to hit you again.
Yeah. So you got to vary your mono and using anyway.
Yeah.
Your mana and your friend's mono.
Yeah. Pick up a mana manipulator for your AD carry.
Yeah. Actually, that would be like the go-to item for him.
Yeah, because he's gonna let you spam your. Oh God! Imagine Urgot with him.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be sinister.
Well, hey, they're on the same side.
Yeah, they're on the same side.
We'll get into his lore later.
Yeah.
Or
if we ever
proposed lore.
Proposed lore. Now for his his W, which is called propaganda. Basically, think Trundle's Frozen Domain, I think is what it's called.
Yeah.
He creates
the giant goop thing.
But basically, it gives a slight buff to all teammates on it, gives a slight nerf to all enemies on it, and it's increased for how many people are on it.
Yeah, more of the
because
team running
sadness is contagious, sort of a thing, So basically, that's basically it. It's propaganda. The more people who are affected by it, the more severe it is.
Yeah, exactly. It fits in with the whole Nazi theme.
Fits with the whole propaganda theme.
Yeah.
He's supposed
He's not going to look like a Nazi.
He's not going to look like a Nazi.
Like his outform might be Nazi-ish.
He'll have a coat. That's about it. He might have a hat.
I was thinking that.
Yeah, no, he's gonna have a hat. But quite honestly, when I originally thought of how he would look, I actually was erring on the side closer to Rob Halford as opposed to Hermann Goering or Goebbels.
So no armband?
Huh?
No armband?
No armband. No fucking armband. That would just be fucked up. Okay, so now that's pretty much it for his W, right?
Yeah.
Now for his E, which is really fucking complicated, and
okay,
it's called coercion. You might have noticed the theme so far. It's all about, the way governments influence people, inspiration, propaganda, coercion.
What was his passive?
Passive was unity, which is,
Yeah. It's fair enough.
It's fair enough.
Unity might be named something else, and we'd have to check.
Yeah. It might be. Who knows?
Whatever.
We haven't done a perfect name check. We'll tell you about the name check thing that we fucked up on.
He was originally called Jericho.
He was originally called Jericho, which we later found out was Swain's first name.
Or something.
Yeah, something like that.
So
his E is coercion.
So
this one's complicated.
We should start off on how it's aimed, or how it's clicked out.
Yeah.
So
think.
All right. So we'll describe it. It's a wall.
Yes.
That you can push around and move.
Yeah. That you can set to move in a direction. It's like an Anivia wall.
Except.
It's not treated as a wall. If you click on the other side of it, you're not going to walk around it.
Yeah.
You're going to walk straight into it.
Yeah. So, and the way you aim it is even weirder.
Yeah. Rumble's ultimate, or Victor's death ray.
Victor's death ray plus one more click.
Yeah. So the way you set it up is, you'll pick a starting location, and then you'll pick the length of the wall, and then click, and that'll make the wall come up.
Yeah.
Then after that, You can press E again.
You can. You don't have to.
You can. You don't have to. And you can select it to move in a direction.
Yeah.
Any direction.
Yeah. You can move it sideways along the wall. You can push it forward. You can bring it back.
Yeah.
This is sort of like, yeah. And the thing is, it repulses enemies.
Yes. It repulses enemies.
You can only hit them once a second.
Yeah. Knocks them away and deals damage. And each subsequent hit deals more damage and knocks them away further.
Yeah. So it's harder to get hit multiple times, but
yeah. If you do, it's gonna hurt even more.
Yeah.
And that was supposed to be like how the reason why it does that is because of it's coercion.
Yeah.
You push somebody, and then you have to push them again. You're gonna push them even harder.
Yeah.
Because you want them to go in that direction.
Yeah. Exactly. And trap someone against the wall. It's only gonna hit them once a second.
And it's only gonna stay up for like what?
A couple seconds.
A couple seconds.
Well, that depends. See,
it could knock them through the wall.
It could eventually.
Yeah.
But here's the thing about coercion. So with each level, you get these sort of coercion points.
We call them brain power.
It's 530.
It's 530.
Yeah.
Oh, well, let's get through this.
Right. So with each, so you get maybe, let's say you start out with 10.
Yeah.
So deciding the length of the wall takes out some
X number of brain power. Deciding how far the wall is going to move determines X number of requires X brain power, and then
how long it's going to stay up.
Yeah. Is the rest of brain power. Basically.
Is the rest of brain power, and it's also the durability of brain power.
It also has health.
No.
I mean, did we just say?
No, because then if it has health, then you can target.
Oh yeah.
It has these charges.
It has
Yeah, and so hitting stuff knocks these charges down.
Yeah.
Maybe not like exactly. Maybe the charges does equate it to some sort of shield value.
Yeah.
But an 80 carry could knock it down by shooting through it. You can't attack it.
You can't attack it.
Oh yeah. Here's
the complicated part about it. It's not targetable, but it will block spells.
Any spell cast through it.
So a skill shot.
Or even a target.
Or even a target ability. So say if I'm on one side and Rise is on the other, and he tries to hit me with an overload, it'll get stopped on the wall, and one of the charges goes away.
Or a certain amount of health, depending on the damage.
Yeah.
Whatever. So any abilities fired through it.
Yeah.
Stop.
Auto attacks are halved.
Yeah.
And so that's basically how it works. And if you do it enough times, it'll.
Yeah, you're breaking down the wall.
You break down the wall. He can't hold it. He can't hold it back. That's basically it for coercion. And now for his.
Well, we should talk a little bit more about it. Scales off.
Scales off
he's
AP.
Obviously an AP champion.
He's obviously an AP champion.
But the higher the ranks he gets, the more
more brain power he gets.
And you could make the wall kind of tiny and not move.
Yeah.
And it would stay there and have a ton of health.
Yeah.
Or you can make the wall really big.
And move. And it's good for disengage.
Yeah, like pushing someone really hard back.
Yeah.
Or pushing the whole team a little bit back.
Yeah. Or it's good for engage. Put it behind them, and now they can't run away.
And they're all being knocked towards you.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's almost kind of an ult.
Yeah, it's almost kind of an ult.
And
it's going to have a really freaking huge cooldown.
Yeah, all of his abilities except for his Q have long cooldowns.
Yeah. And so, you can use it. I thought about using it sideways, and as you're to prevent you from being kited so hard. Like, say you're I thought about ways you could use it to bait. Like, say Ash is chasing you. You put up coercion, coercion wall. She can still auto attack through that, and it'll slow you. You follow it with you. You think, oh, he's trying to disengage, but really you're trying to bait Ash into. If you get the wall to follow you instead of pushing her away, he's like, oh, he just wants the damage reduction. He's trying to get away, and he doesn't want me to walk around the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it could be, because you can change the length and.
Oh yeah, and so you can't dash through it, just like Shen can't dash through it.
No, well, Unstoppable Force would go through it.
Riftwalk would go through it and
over it, or just past it.
Past it, and so would Arcane Shift and Shumpo.
stuff like that.
But you
LeBlanc Dash,
Diana Dash, Shadow Dash.
they would all get that full stop.
Wait, would Zed's Shadows?
No, he's untargetable.
No, would Zed's Shadow go over? Would be able to go over? Would he be able to
The
cast
Shadow
over?
would, and then he would swap.
Yeah. All right. All right. Is that it for coercion? Coercion is probably one of the more OP parts about him. Well, actually, we're about to get to his ultimate.
Yeah, his ultimate. I mean, the thing is, yeah, no, coercion is probably the most OP thing.
Yeah.
His ultimate. Well, we'll explain.
Yeah, we'll explain it here. His ultimate is called indoctrination.
Yeah.
Basically, Jericho places a mental shield around him. Casts it on an enemy. Places a mental shield around him. Starts channeling, and
At the same time,
he takes over the mind of an
maybe
enemy.
there's a slight leeching.
There's a slight leeching,
Like a slight leeching arm. Like
Yeah.
think
twin shadows, or maybe like
No,
a,
no, like
a chain.
think Varys. Thinks Varys.
Oh yeah, like chains of corruption,
Yeah, maybe something like that
Yeah.
to the person, so that maybe they have a second to.
like flash away or something.
Yeah.
And
But
then
when
he makes contact, he takes control of them.
He's still channeling.
He's still
but
channeling
now-
throughout the entirety of this.
But now, if you're like holding space,
Mhm.
or you're locked to camera,
Yeah.
it switches to their champion, and you can use their Q, W, and E abilities.
Yeah, and R will cancel it.
Yeah,
early.
R will cancel the channel.
So, like, say I grab an Oriana, I'll be able to use Command Attack, Dissonance, and Protect
from Orion.
from Oriana, as though I was Oriana.
Yeah. You become a member of your own team.
Yeah. So but enemy damage still affects. Your damage still affects.
Enemy damage to that person is
It halved,
because
and CC effects remain unaffected.
what?
We talked about how CC effects are not reduced at all,
Oh yeah,
or
it could
are
lock you up.
increased.
Yeah. CC effects are
Are increased against the affected champion.
Yeah.
So, like, say if you've got a Leona on your team, it's like, oh, well, I'll just stun her, and then she'll be fine in a few seconds,
Yeah. And
But-
once contact and control is made,
Mhm.
it only lasts.
like
3
seconds. What it increases if they're on mental propaganda.
Well, yeah, all of his abilities.
Yeah.
Mental
Yeah.
propaganda, like all his abilities, sort of go back and forth with each other.
Yeah. If both the character and the victim are on the propaganda field, then the time is increased. And I think we decided at level 3 it could be upwards of like 6 seconds that you could be controlled by your
Yeah,
opponent.
if you were both on.
If you were both on it through the entire time.
Yeah.
Um,
But the second you step off.
the second you step off, you might break the link.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't get the ultimate off of any
Yeah,
so
you're
like
not
if
gonna be
you
able
grab the Karthus, you couldn't just instantly
Yeah.
Requiem and then put it on cooldown for him.
Yeah. No, that's
That would be
going
too
too
OP,
far.
and you couldn't stand united with Shen or anything.
Yeah, you're not gonna be able to blow their ultimates. You might be
Yeah.
able. I think.
But if you're like Vladimir, you could blow his pool at the last second.
I think the cooldowns that you use shouldn't affect the cooldowns that they have.
Oh, okay,
That just makes it.
that makes it OP. Yeah, I understand. That makes it totally
Yeah.
OP.
Anyways, so yeah, he's channeling and vulnerable at this time. He does get a shield.
He's not. Well, he's channeling vulnerable.
No, like he's channeling, but like the champion,
Yeah. If he gets stunned, if
Yeah.
say you have Jax,
and you stun him. That's it.
that's it. His ultimate's done.
Yeah, just like any other channel.
Any other channel.
He does have a little bit of a.
He gets a shield based on, and he imposes his stats on the victim,
Yeah.
and they kind of impose it back on some back on him.
Yeah, I think Mordekaiser.
Yeah, think Mordekaiser.
So like.
He gets a shield based around him based on his health, based on the champion that he's grabbing health,
Yeah.
and that if you just want to beat on him, say you're like Fiora and you have no CC, then you can't take him out. But you like maybe I can kill him before it's done because
Yeah.
he's channeling. He gets a pretty decent shield off of it, and when the ult is done, the shield bursts.
Which means the shield. There's no more shield.
There's no more shield, and it bursts for damage of the remaining
Scion.
shield. Think Scion, yeah, of the remaining shield.
Yeah, not the full.
Not the full damage.
Just
Yeah,
whatever.
if you like go R and then R for like a big burst, like just you trying to
do a burst and not really take it into control.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense if you don't have the time, if you don't have the...
Like if Jax is at you, like if he's spinning his lamp.
Yeah, and you just want to get some damage out on
Yeah.
the run. Yeah, so that's all. All of his abilities are improved by mental propaganda, except, well, not mental propaganda.
Just propaganda.
Yeah.
It used to be called mental propaganda, but we figured, it's inspire, coercion. Why is it mental propaganda? It should just be propaganda.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah. Yeah, that's about it for him.
That's about it for him.
Still working on a name. Oh yeah, his backstory.
His backstory, we had thought that he might
be siblings with Syndra, this unbridled mental power.
Yeah.
While she controls, while she does stuff in the physical realm.
He does stuff in the mental realm.
And maybe, where she was abandoned near Ionia, he could be abandoned
near Zaun. Because that was one of the original ideas we had, was that he was augmented by an unnamed Zaun scientist. Victor. Probably.
Victor's related to something in Zaun.
Something like that. And then he went off to rise through the Noxian ranks, because he just figured that would be the easiest, because he could just connive his way up.
Yeah, and he's power hungry.
He's power hungry. Him and Swain are in no way friends.
But
they kind of have a mutual goal. The way I basically seen it, I thought of a scene in my head that I thought would very well sum up their relationship. That Jericho and Swain, we call them Jericho. We need a name for him. Just our champion and Swain would be, talking in wherever they would be talking. They're getting the conversation's getting heated. They're about to go to blows. Swain's just about to turn into his bird thing and start fucking him up, and he's about to fucking grip onto his brain. And just as that, just as right before they're about to do it, Darius comes in the room for whatever reason to talk to Swain, and then they both sit back down, and our champion's about to leave, and he just says, Darius won't always be around to protect you, Swain, and he just walks out.
Yeah, something like that. While Swain has all these people that are loyal to him,
he knows he needs Jericho to keep whatever
to keep certain powers at bay, and because he's so powerful, he needs him at least on his side.
If not, he knows he'll never have him under his thumb, but he needs to make sure he's not put in a position where he could be overthrown.
Yeah, because that's obviously Jericho's goal.
Yeah.
Jericho, whatever his name is.
Yeah, whatever his name is.
He's power hungry, and the way he gets power would not be welcomed in Demacia.
Yeah.
He does.
That's why he went to Noxus.
Yeah, because the way he gets power
is by just, I'll find the guy above me.
Yeah,
get in
very
good
much
with him.
Darius style.
Give him,
Except a little more.
Just I'm going to,
deceitful.
Deceitful. Take your mind and say, this guy's going to be promoted when I die. Oh no, I died.
Yeah, exactly. Very questionable things happening. Not just like Darius. Yeah, I killed him.
What you going to do about it? You're going to promote me. That's what you're going to do about it.
Exactly. And whereas Darius, people might step out of his way, to let him rise.
Yeah.
No one
is going to step out of Jericho's way.
Because no one really is
because nobody knows who he is.
Yeah.
And he's not technically of Noxus. I don't know if that matters for the Noxians.
I mean, he's an outsider, but at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Very evil.
So their champion idea we had, where we were talking about Fear, and it came to be a champion.
Yeah. He is overpowered at the moment.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's tweaking that can be done.
Cooldowns because of the Q could be spammed.
Yeah.
So.
He has potential. I'd like to think that he could be balanced. He's probably not at this time. And we will.
And also, he doesn't have a ton of counterplay.
Yeah, he doesn't have a lot. But
I think the wall and mental propaganda have plenty of counterplay.
Yeah.
Propaganda.
Yeah. The ultimate, maybe not so.
We'll find a way that.
Yeah. We could find a way. I mean, he's channeling, so it's susceptible to CC.
He's channeling, and if he targets a person and then it has to leech to him.
Yeah.
I think that would be.
Maybe somebody could get in the way, like the support. It's like, oh, Sona, I'll get in the way. Like, oh great, now you have Sona.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you could have had Karthus, you could have had Mordekaiser. You could have had Jax, but no, you got Sona.
Yeah, no, and that'd be good because then like he can't use my ultimate.
Yeah.
All he's gonna do is heal and speed up his allies directly around him for the next 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Who gives a fuck?
Who gives a shit? All right, that is our first.
Yeah. So maybe a skill shot that's really slow.
Yeah.
And like you use it from like within cover, and then people can.
Yeah, and it's like an initiator. Like you drop
like
down.
a sneaky initiator, so
Yeah.
vision would be that makes me good counterplay. Anyways, but it's bad counterplay once the ult starts.
Yeah, there is like none.
It's
Well, I mean
it's team-based counterplay.
Yeah.
And that's
Which is actually somewhat uncommon. I mean, not super common in League. I mean, there are very few things that require teammates to have
blocking.
time. I guess, but not much else. All right, so that's our first episode.
I guess.
It might not actually.
We'll see what happens if there's double audio streams or whatever.
Yeah,
I'll
probably.
check in a sec. But
all right, so how do we stop this?
just hit the command that you did again.